Hi there, it's March 27th and time for Proverbs 27. So let's jump over there and we'll get into it. Let me turn this off. Ta-da! Maybe get a little smaller here. There we go. Okay. Now these were sayings copied from Solomon by other people, like men of Hezekiah, king of Judah, and stuff like that. Do not boast about tomorrow, for you do not know what a day may bring forth. Right? Lots of people do that. Do not boast about tomorrow. Okay? This one is really important. Okay? Let another praise you and not your own mouth, a stranger and not your own lips. Okay? Nobody likes a bragger. Okay? Nobody likes a bragger. That's why even in functions and stuff, when somebody's coming up to speak, they have somebody else come up first and introduce them and brag on them, so they're not bragging on themselves, because nobody likes a bragger. Okay? Let them be humble. Let somebody else do it. Okay? Number 3, a stone is heavy and sand is weighty, but a fool's provocation is heavier than both. Provocation, you know what that is? A fool that provokes you into doing something. Okay? We can look that up just for fun, because it's fun to look up words. Provocation, action or speech that makes someone annoyed or angry, especially deliberately. Okay? It's deliberately annoying you. Fools are good at that, aren't they? Yeah. Wrath is cruel, anger is overwhelming, but who can stand before jealousy? Right. Jealousy is the worst type of anger, because that's being betrayed by a friend, somebody you loved. Okay? Nothing hurts as much as that. Okay? 5, better is open rebuke than hidden love, or love that is concealed, it says over here. Open rebuke than hidden love. If you love somebody, you should show them and tell them. 6, faithful are the wounds of a friend, profuse are the kisses of an enemy. Deceitful are the kisses of an enemy. Wounds of a friend. That's interesting, huh? I suppose you could get really deep into that, but we're not going to today. He who is sated or full or stuffed loathes honey, but to one who is hungry, everything bitter is sweet. Right. If you're stuffed and you're full and you get all the food you want, honey, pie, cake, doesn't sound good, but if you're starving, even moldy bread tastes sweet to you. True statement. Number 8, like a bird that strays from his nest is a man who strays from his home. All right. What happens when a bird strays from his nest? Things are going to get in. Steal the eggs. Okay. Stay play in your own backyard. That's what they used to say. Oil and perfume make the heart glad, but the soul is torn by trouble. Or the sweetness of his friend from hearty counsel. Wow. That's different, huh? Let's read this over here in the word for word. Oil and perfume make the heart glad. So a man's soul's counsel is sweet to his friend. But the soul is torn by trouble. Where do they even get that? Okay. This definition, this one's kind of strange, huh? In the Hebrew it says the sweetness of his friend from hearty counsel. And it contradicts itself with its thing. Well, we're going to go over here and highlight the one on this side. Because that just doesn't make any sense, does it? Okay, number 10. Anyway, we'll read this again. Oil and perfume make the heart glad. So a man's counsel is sweet to his friend. Right. 10. Your friend and your father's friend do not forsake, and do not go to your brother's house in the day, and do not go to your brother's house in the day of calamity. Your friend and your father's friend. Do not forsake your own friend or your father's friend, and do not go to your brother's house in the day of calamity. Now, I could see not going to my brother's house because, my brother lives like 750 miles away from me, and I have friends that live very close that I could go to in calamity, and they would gladly help me out. So it doesn't make sense to, go to my brother's house. And that can be what they're talking about, too. Yeah, we'll finish it. Better is a neighbor who is near than a brother who is far away. Hey? Just as I was saying. Be wise, my son, and make my heart glad, that I may answer him who reproaches me. Right. I have some personal experience with this. I taught my children very young not to never lie to me. The consequences for lying were much worse than the consequences for telling the truth. So they never lied to me. So my kids were wise and made my heart glad, like it says here. And if somebody else comes up to me and says, your son did so-and-so, when I ask him, did you do that? And he says, no. And I said, my son didn't do it. He didn't lie. Somebody who approaches me, I can answer him and say, no, he didn't do that. And I can tell stories of that too. Broken windows and stuff, where my son, where a neighbor from around the block would march my son up to my house and say, your son broke my window and you need to pay for it. And I asked my son, did you break his window? He goes, no, Dad, I didn't break his window. I said, my son didn't do it. I said, but let's see if we can find out who did. And we did some investigating and found out that somebody else broke his window. And he had to apologize. Okay? That I may answer him who reproaches me. There you go. 12. A prudent man sees danger and hides himself, but the simple go on and suffer for it. Right? You know what this says? Like your grandma said, stay out of trouble. If you see trouble up the street, don't go that way. Stay out of trouble. You see the big protest up there, people carrying signs and looking dangerous, just turn around, go the other way, man. Find another way there. But the simple, it just bluster right into it, and then get their car set on fire and get beat up and kicked in the head and stuff by those idiots that do that kind of stuff. 13. Take a man's garment when he has given surety for a stranger, and hold him in pledge when he gives surety for foreigners. He says this absolutely everywhere in here. Solomon does. Never co-sign or guarantee somebody else's loan. If your friend is borrowing somebody money from, or somebody, or buying a car or something from somebody you don't know, and they ask you to co-sign and guarantee it for them, no, sorry, I don't do that. And Solomon says never, ever do that. Not even for your own kids. Okay? You're going to end up paying for something that, they're going to take your stuff. 14. He who blesses his neighbor with a loud voice rising early in the morning will be counted as cursing. All right. How many people hate the next door neighbor's rooster, huh? Right. It's counted as cursing. Wake up, Bob, we're going fishing today. Go away. All right. A continual dripping on a rainy day and a contentious woman are alike. Semicolon. To restrain her is to restrain the wind, and to grasp oil in one's hand. Mm-hmm. Now, I think that Solomon, he either had trouble with one of his wives, or he had some friends who had a wife that was very contentious. And contentious means they like to argue about everything. Okay, and maybe it's because their feelings aren't rarefied and stuff. There's another word, I can't think of it right now, but yeah, maybe somebody doesn't listen to them. Goes both ways. But right, now I messed this up, didn't I? Well, you can't turn something off, Well, we'll have to highlight that just to make it different. 17. Iron sharpens iron, and one man sharpens another. Right. Hang around friends who are like you, who you want to be like. Okay? Hang around smart people. You want to be smart, hang around smart people, and they will sharpen you. 18. He who tends a fig tree will eat its fruit, and he who guards his master will be honored. Okay? That's true. Gardeners can eat the figs off the fig trees because they're taking care of it, and nobody's going to say anything. 19. As in water, face answers to face. Wow. So the mind of man reflects the man. That is really hard to understand. I mean, I know what it's saying, but as you see your reflection in the water, so the mind reflects the man. Okay? What's it say over here? As in water reflects face, so the heart of man reflects man. And this says heart, and this says mind. I'm going to go with heart, meaning better. So your heart reflects who you really are. Okay? And you can't always hide that. Sheol and Abaddon are never satisfied, and never satisfied are the eyes of man. You don't realize what a statement this is right here. You don't realize. Okay, what's it say over here? Yep, it says the same thing. Nor the eyes of man. Men are never satisfied. People are never satisfied. No matter how much they get, no matter how much money, no matter how big a house, no matter how nice a car, they always want a better one. Okay? And it's the ones who can truly look around and be satisfied with everything they have, whether it's a lot or a little. Those are the people that are rich. And those are the people that have joy. Not happiness, joy. Okay? One day we'll do a study on happiness and joy. They're two very different things. Okay? But yeah, the eyes of man are never satisfied. Think about it. There's always, no matter where you are in life, there's always, I sure would like to have this, or sure would like to have that. And you're surrounded by, you got crap all over the place. Just crap and junk on every wall, and every closet, and every drawer, and every stuff, and you want more. Yeah. I'm guilty of that too. Okay, we all are. It says every. The eyes of man are never satisfied. Okay, 21. The crucible is for silver, and the furnace is for gold, and a man is judged by his praise. That's interesting. Each is tested by the praise accorded him. So, we know what the crucible and the furnace is, silver and gold, right? We're going to end up highlighting everything here just because we can. Okay, and we talked about this yesterday. Even when you melt gold or silver, all the impurities flow to the top, and they scrape them off and throw them away. So then you're left pure gold and pure silver. Okay, a man is judged by his praise, what other people say about him when they're not around or when you are around. Okay? What do people say about it when you're not around? Then we're not talking about people on the street, the guy with road rage that doesn't know you. We're talking people that know you, people that like you, people that hang around you. What do they say about you when you're not around? I mean, you won't know, but people are judged by their praise, by what other people say around them. That can go really deep, That's where integrity comes in, okay? Integrity is doing the same thing when no one is watching that you would if everyone was watching you. Okay? Think about that. Okay? If you see a piece of garbage on the sidewalk and there's a trash can up there, okay? If no one's watching, you kick it into the bushes. Would you do that if everyone was watching? Or, everybody's looking at me, I'm going to pick that up and throw it away. Be like that when nobody's watching. And then pretty soon, you will be judged by your praise. Okay? Wow, this is nasty. 22 is rough, dude. Crush a fool in a mortar with a pestle along with crushed grain, yet his foolishness will not depart from him. Well, that's kind of sick, isn't it? It really drives the point home, okay? Fools are going to be foolish, and you can't get the foolishness out of the fool. They beat them back then, and it did for a while, but sooner or later they go right back to it. Yeah. Okay, it's important. This whole thing is one saying. Know well the condition of your flocks and give attention to your herds, for riches do not last forever. And does a crown endure to all generations? When the grass is gone and the new growth appears, and the herbage of the mountains is gathered, herbage of the mountains. The lambs will provide your clothing, and the goats will the price of a field. There will be enough goat's milk for your food, and the food of your household, and the maintenance of your maidens. Okay, now let's read this over here. Know well the condition of your flocks, and pay attention to your herds, for riches are not forever, nor does a crown endure all generations. When the grass disappears, the new growth is seen, and the herbs of the mountains are gathered in. The lambs will be for your clothing, and the goats will bring the price of a field, and there will be goat's milk enough for your food, and for the food of your household, and the sustenance of your maidens. Okay, this says to know your finances. Okay, back then their flocks and their herds, that was their finances. Flocks, herds, lands. That's how they measured wealth back then. They had silver and gold, but flocks and herds, that was a tangible thing they could see. And like today, it's your money, it's your accounts, your bills. Know the condition. You should always know how much money you have in the bank. You should know what bills are due. You should not count on your spouse for that. Your spouse shouldn't go, she takes care of it or he takes care of it, and I never think about it. Not good. That's not good. Because if you don't know, you're always up to surprise us, okay? Riches do not last forever. And more importantly, a crown does not endure all generations, okay? You can't count on your parents' or your grandparents' wealth. Even these huge businesses, okay, you could see when, somebody builds a huge business and he leaves it to the kids, usually by the third generation, the business is falling apart. Okay, because you can't, even the huge businesses, okay? Look at Kmart. It's all but gone. Sears is all but gone. JCPenney is all but gone. In fact, I worked at JCPenney back in the early 80s when James Cash Penney was still alive, and it was a very, very different store. Okay, but when James Cash Penney died, the first thing they did was they stuffed more junk in there, made the aisles smaller, started opening on Sundays, and it wasn't long till the store just fell apart. Okay, the crown does not endure through all generations. Okay, if everybody was as smart and had the same dreams as like J.C. Penney, the store would have endured, okay? But it didn't. That's what it means by the crown does not endure throughout generations. Okay? When the grass is gone and new growth appears and the herbage of the mountains is gathered, the land will provide your clothing. Now there's other versions that we've read. This is the 7th time through this. And there's others said that, it made it more, while your sheep are in this pasture, you should be mowing this pasture over here, collecting the hay and baling it and rolling it up. So, and you should be collecting the hay from the one they're not at, and then let that grow up, and then you can move them over and you have hay stored up. Okay. So when the grass is gone, they still have food. The lambs will provide your clothing, and the goats the price of your field. Wool, right? There'll be enough goat's milk for your food, for the food of your household, and the maintenance of your maidens. So yeah, if you take care of your finances, okay, budget, there'll be enough. You could be able to feed your kids. And we don't have servants now, but some people do, I imagine. But and you'll have enough. Okay, save up. Know in your head. Just know all the time. Know what's going on. Know what's there. Know what's not there. Know what's due. Hey, so there you have it. That's Proverbs 27. We highlighted stuff in here. And we're going on and on today, aren't we? Highlighted one. Do not boast about tomorrow, for you do not know what a day will bring forth. Right. Even Jesus said, worry about today. Yeah. And importantly, let another praise you and not your own mouth, a stranger and not your own lips. Okay. Don't brag. Wrath is cruel, anger is overwhelming, but who can stand before jealousy? Right. Your loved one should be the most important thing. Okay. Your friend and your father's friend do not forsake, and do not go to your brother's house in the day of calamity. Better is a neighbor who is near than a brother who is far away. And we talked about that. Be wise, my son, and make my heart glad, that I may answer him who reproaches me. Talked about that too. If you teach your kids never to lie to you, then if some stranger comes up and says such and such, you can answer him. No, he didn't. Okay. We're highlighted 12. A prudent man sees danger and hides himself, but the simple go on and suffer for it. Okay. Stay out of trouble. Highlighted 14. He who blesses his neighbor with a loud voice rising early in the morning will be counted as cursing. All right. Let your friends sleep in if they want to sleep. Okay. They don't like that. And 15 and 16. Continual dripping on a rainy day and a contentious woman are alike. To restrain her is to restrain the wind, or to grasp oil in one's right hand. Okay. And I kind of backed that up by saying, contentious or argumentative women are usually people that don't get heard. Okay? They don't get their feelings justified. We have to listen to people. Iron sharpens iron, one man sharpens another. Okay, that's 17. Hang around smart people. If you want to be smart, hang around smart people. If you want to be strong, hang around strong people. Okay, they'll work with you. As water reflects your face, so the mind of man, or the heart of man, reflects the man. Okay, that's deep too. Okay. Sheol and abandon are never satisfied, and never satisfied are the eyes of man. Okay? Big statement. Sheol and Abaddon are never satisfied. The eyes of man are never satisfied. People always want more. Always, no matter how much they got, they always want more. Okay? It's amazing. We highlighted 21. The crucible is for silver and the furnace is for gold, and a man is judged by his praise. Okay? People judge you by what other people say about you. So, have integrity and do the right thing, even when nobody's watching, because chances are somebody will be watching. Okay? Somebody comes up to you and says, I've heard a lot of good things about you. Okay? That's what you want to hear. Okay? And 23 through 27, we won't read that again. We highlighted it. Know the condition of your finances and your flocks and your fields, and be able to feed your family. So, there you have it. That's Proverbs 27 for there we go, for March 27th. I don't know why that did that, but well, stay tuned later today. We're still in Joshua. Got more. They're cutting up the land still, but we're using maps now, so it's a little more exciting, to actually see what they're talking about. So we'll do that. Catch up on any of these you may have missed. Give us a like if you think about it. But till later today. See ya.